Ladies and gentlemen, we all go through seasons of life that seem filled with difficulty, confusion, and even despair. But I want to remind you today that those moments of testing are not here to destroy you. They are here to define you. When God tests you, He is not looking for your failure. He is looking for your growth. The tests you face in life are not just random occurrences or signs of bad luck. They are divinely orchestrated moments designed to reveal who you are, what you believe, and what you're capable of. Just as a goldsmith refines gold in fire to purify it, God allows us to go through trials to purify our faith, our character, and our very purpose. Every test has a divine purpose. It's not about the struggle itself. It's about what that struggle is preparing you for. Tests are not meant to break you. They are meant to make you. The pain, the challenges, the struggles, they are preparing you for something greater. You may not see it today, but the test you are going through right now is laying the foundation for your future. You see, God does not waste a single moment. He knows what lies ahead of you, and He's using every experience you go through to prepare you for the assignment He has on your life. Think of your life like a journey. Each test is a milestone that gets you one step closer to your destiny. Without those small tests, you would not be ready for the greater challenges ahead. Without overcoming these obstacles, you would not be able to step into the fullness of what God has designed for you. Trusting in God during the test is the key to victory. When you trust in God's plan, even in the hardest moments, you open yourself to His guidance, His wisdom, and His provision. Don't be discouraged by what you see. Trust in what God is doing behind the scenes. He's not trying to harm you. He's shaping you. He's preparing you for something greater. The test is not there to break you, but to build endurance in you. We've all heard the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But I'll tell you today, it's not just about being stronger. It's about being more patient, more faithful, and more capable of handling what's ahead. You see, faith is not proven in good times. It's proven in the trials. It's easy to believe when everything is going well. But when you hold on to your faith in the storm, that's when you truly prove what's in your heart. Character is what you build in the quiet moments, in the unseen seasons of your life. When you are tested, your character is being refined, just like a fire refines precious metals. Don't be afraid of the heat. Welcome it, because it's the fire that will make you strong, resilient, and unstoppable. In those times of testing, you may be tempted to doubt, to give up, or to question God's goodness. But don't let the test confuse you. Keep your eyes on the bigger picture. Faith is the key that unlocks the door to your breakthrough. Faith helps you endure. It gives you the strength to keep moving forward even when you can't see the way ahead. Victory is a result of the test. The Bible says that after we have endured the trial, we'll receive a crown of life. What that means is that the test you are facing today is not the end. It's just the beginning of a new chapter, one that will lead to greater triumph and fulfillment. You will emerge from the test with a testimony, and that testimony will become a message of hope and inspiration for others. Life is filled with a series of tests. We often think of a test as something that happens only in school or in a specific circumstance, but the truth is life is a constant testing ground. Whether it's our relationships, our finances, our health, or even our personal dreams. We face challenges that seem like obstacles, but they are actually tests. These tests serve as opportunities for us to grow, evolve, and become more of who we are destined to be. When God tests us, it's not about seeing if we will fail or succeed in the way the world measures success. It's about a deeper spiritual process. Tests reveal what is within us, our strengths, weaknesses, and most importantly, our potential. They show us where we are lacking and where we need to grow. These trials are not a punishment or something that is intended to harm us. They are designed with intention to develop something far greater in us than we might realize. You see, tests are often misunderstood. We tend to view them negatively, something to avoid or get over quickly. But in reality, they are crucial for our growth. A test is not just an event, it's an experience that has the power to transform us. When we face a difficult situation, our immediate response might be frustration, fear, or confusion. But in those moments, we must understand that the test is an invitation to change and grow. The challenges and struggles we face in life are not simply random occurrences. They are designed in many cases to help us develop deeper faith, stronger character, and more resilience. In fact, our ability to handle the test is often the determining factor in whether we move forward or get stuck in the same place. Life, in essence, is a series of tests that prepare us for the larger assignments and purposes that lie ahead. We can't move forward to the next phase of life if we haven't passed the tests of today. Think of it this way: without tests, there would be no need for growth. If everything in life were easy, we would have no reason to stretch beyond what we already know. It's only when we face something difficult that we realize our true capacity. The test brings out what's hidden inside us, whether it's patience, strength, courage, or wisdom. Without the test, we might never even know how capable we are. And while facing a test may feel like an uncomfortable process, it is through this very discomfort that we are reshaped. We're like clay in the hands of a master potter, molded and formed by the pressure and the heat. We may not understand the process while it's happening, but when we emerge from it, we are better equipped for the challenges of life that lie ahead. It's not just about surviving the test. It's about transforming through it. We must also realize that tests come in many different forms. Some tests are external, situations that happen to us, like a financial crisis, a sudden illness, or a broken relationship. Other tests are internal, where our character is being stretched, our beliefs are challenged, and our integrity is tested. Regardless of the type of test, the purpose remains the same: to refine us. Each test, whether it's a test of endurance, patience, or wisdom, is an opportunity to build something greater in our lives. What's also crucial to understand is that every test has an expiration date. No matter how long or how intense the test may seem, it is not permanent. There will come a time when it is over, and you will move on to the next phase of your journey. But how you come out of that test is entirely up to you. You can either emerge stronger, more faithful, and more equipped to handle the next challenge, or you can emerge weakened, discouraged, and unprepared. The choice is yours. What makes the difference between success and failure in life's test is not necessarily our ability to perform or achieve, but our ability to stay the course. When you face a test, your ability to endure, trust, and persevere is what will determine whether you overcome. It is not the absence of the test that matters, but the response to it. Will you give up, or will you push through with faith and trust in the process? The beauty of a test lies in the fact that it is designed to elevate us. It is an opportunity for promotion. What may seem like a setback, a struggle, or a failure is actually a stepping stone that leads us to a higher level of living. It's like a ladder. Every time we pass a test, we take one more step up toward the next level of greatness. The test is not here to keep us stuck. So, instead of running from the test or resenting it, we must learn to embrace it. When we face our tests with the understanding that they are not meant to destroy us, but to build us, we begin to look at challenges in a new light. We see them as opportunities to rise above, to grow, and to step into our purpose with even greater clarity. The purpose behind the test is often something we don't immediately understand, especially when we're in the middle of the struggle. In those moments, the pain and frustration can cloud our vision, making it difficult to see the bigger picture. But tests are not just random challenges. They are divinely orchestrated moments, designed with intentionality and purpose. Every test you face, no matter how difficult, is a part of a greater plan that is unfolding in your life. When you encounter a test, it's important to remember that the purpose is not to cause harm, but to refine you. A test is an opportunity to reveal what's inside, to expose areas that need strengthening, and to unlock potential within you that you may not have recognized. It's a moment where you can see just how far you've come and how much further you still need to grow. The very things that seem like obstacles or trials are actually steps on the path of personal and spiritual development. Tests often come to push you out of your comfort zone and challenge the limits you've placed on yourself. If life was smooth and predictable, there would be no reason to stretch, no reason to evolve. Growth happens in the discomfort, in the places where you are forced to confront things you would rather avoid. It's in the moments of hardship that you begin to see the depth of your own strength. In many cases, the test you face is preparing you for something greater, something beyond your current understanding. Life has a way of presenting challenges that seem impossible to overcome. But the very nature of these challenges is to prepare you for the future. The test is not just for now, it's for your future. It's a preparation for the responsibilities, roles, and tasks that lie ahead. Without these tests, you would not be equipped to handle what's to come. The process of the tests also helps you to develop patience and endurance, which are essential qualities for navigating life's journey. When things are easy, it's easy to give up when something goes wrong. But when you've been tested and have learned to persist, you develop a resilience that carries you through the toughest times. It's not the absence of struggle that matters, but the strength you develop through it. Every time you face a challenge and choose to endure, you grow stronger and more capable of handling the next test that comes your way. Tests are designed to refine your character. Character is the foundation upon which all success is built. If you are successful without character, your success is fragile. It can be easily destroyed by pride, greed, or arrogance. But when you face a test, when you are forced to rely on integrity, honesty, and wisdom, your character is forged in the fire of adversity. You come out of the test not just with knowledge or skills, but with a deeper understanding of who you are and what you stand for. The purpose behind the test is also to help you align with your true purpose. Life often pushes us toward different paths, and sometimes we are led in directions that are not in line with our divine calling. Tests act as a course correction, redirecting us back to the path we are meant to be on. They help us to realign our priorities, refocus our goals, and make decisions that are in harmony with our higher purpose. In this sense, the test acts as a guide, pushing us toward our destiny, even if we don't always see it in the moment. God, in His wisdom, allows us to go through tests to reveal not only our strengths, but also our weaknesses. It is through our weaknesses that we discover how much we need His guidance, His strength, and His wisdom. The test forces us to confront our limitations and seek help outside of ourselves. It teaches us humility, reminding us that we are not in control and that our strength comes not from our own abilities, but from a higher power. The test serves as a reminder that God is preparing us for a greater level of influence. It's easy to overlook the significance of small tests, but each one builds upon the next, developing the skills and qualities needed for the next level. If you can be faithful in the small things, God will trust you with more. The test is part of the training process, preparing you for a bigger assignment, a larger platform, and a greater impact in the world. The lessons learned through the test will equip you to be a leader, a mentor, and a beacon of hope to others who will need your guidance and strength in the future. In the end, the test is a tool that shapes you, refines you, and elevates you. It's not designed to break you, but to build you into the person you were always meant to become. Embrace the test, knowing that it has a divine purpose, one that will unlock your true potential, align you with your higher purpose, and prepare you for the great things that lie ahead. Every test you face today is not just about the present moment, it's a preparation for the future. Life does not just happen by accident. Every experience, every challenge, and every obstacle is shaping you for what lies ahead. You may not understand the full significance of the trials you are going through right now, but they are laying the foundation for the greater things to come. The future that you are stepping into requires a certain level of maturity, wisdom, and strength. And the tests you face are the tools that will equip you for that future. The preparation for the future often looks like a series of smaller challenges that build on one another. Think of it as training for a race. You don't jump from the starting line to the finish line without first going through rigorous preparation. The road to success, fulfillment, and impact is paved with tests. It's easy to want to skip the hard parts, to fast talk through the challenges. But those very challenges are the ones that shape your ability to handle greater responsibility, greater influence, and greater opportunities in the future. What we often fail to realize is that the future does not begin when we arrive at our desired destination. It begins right now, in the midst of the tests and trials we face. The habits you form, the decisions you make, and the way you respond to challenges today are setting the stage for the life you will live tomorrow. If you can endure, remain faithful, and continue moving forward in the face of difficulty, you will be prepared for the greater assignments that lie ahead. Without the preparation of today, you won't be ready for the greater things of tomorrow. Think about the way athletes train for major competitions. They put in years of effort before stepping onto the big stage. Every practice, every workout, every sacrifice along the way is not wasted. It's all part of the process of getting them to their ultimate goal. Life works the same way. The preparation you go through today might seem insignificant in the moment, but it's equipping you for something bigger than you can imagine. God knows the future, and He is a master of preparing His people for what lies ahead. The tests He allows you to go through today are not arbitrary. They are purposeful. They are designed to build the character, the skills, and the mindset that you will need for the next chapter of your life. When you face challenges, you are being prepared for something greater than where you are right now. You may not see the full picture, but God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every test to make sure you are ready for the greater purpose you were created for. The tests you experience today are refining your leadership, your resilience, and your ability to make wise decisions under pressure. The future is full of opportunities, but these opportunities come with responsibilities. The skills you develop in times of testing, patience, perseverance, integrity, and vision are exactly what you will need to step into those opportunities and handle them with grace and wisdom. Without those qualities, even the best opportunities will be wasted. It's the tests that refine and sharpen you for the leadership that the future demands. Sometimes the preparation can feel overwhelming. The weight of the challenges might seem too much to bear, and it may feel like the future is still too far off to be real. But this is where faith comes in. Even when you can't see the end result, you can trust that each step you take, each test you face, is moving you closer to the future you were designed for. It's like planting a seed in the ground. The seed doesn't immediately sprout and grow into a tree. It takes time, nurturing, and the right conditions. The test you face today is part of the process of that growth. The truth is, without these moments of preparation, we wouldn't be able to appreciate or handle the blessings and opportunities of the future. We may wish for a life without difficulty, but it's the very difficulty that teaches us how to manage success and navigate challenges. If everything were handed to us without effort or struggle, we would be ill-prepared for the demands of the future. We would lack the character, discipline, and maturity needed to truly succeed. The future is coming, whether we are ready or not. But when we embrace the preparation process and understand that the tests are shaping us, we position ourselves to step into that future with confidence and purpose. The future is not something that will just happen to us. It's something we are preparing for right now. In every trial, every challenge, and every lesson we learn along the way, when the tests come, don't run from them. Understand that they are there for a reason, to prepare you for the amazing future that is waiting for you. A future that only you can fulfill because of the strength and wisdom you are gaining today. Trusting in God's plan can be one of the most difficult yet profound acts of faith in our lives. It requires letting go of our own limited understanding and embracing the fact that there is a greater purpose unfolding that we may not fully see. In the midst of life's trials and uncertainties, it's easy to become consumed by fear, doubt, and the overwhelming desire to control our own destiny. But the truth is, we are not in control. We are part of a much bigger story, and God's plan for us is far greater than we could ever imagine. Trusting in God's plan means believing that no matter how things look in the moment, He is working everything together for our good. We may not understand why certain things happen or why certain seasons are so challenging, but God, in His infinite wisdom, knows what He is doing. Every step of the journey, even those that feel like setbacks, is a part of His design. Sometimes we find ourselves in situations that make no sense to us. We may question why certain doors are closed or why things aren't going the way we envisioned, but we must remember that God's plan is not limited by our understanding of time or circumstance. We often try to piece together our own plans and predict the outcomes, but what we fail to realize is that our plans are often incomplete and short-sighted. God's plan, however, is perfect and all-encompassing. He sees the beginning from the end, and He knows exactly what is needed for us to grow, to mature, and to fulfill our ultimate purpose. Trusting in this plan requires surrender. A surrender of our desire to control everything, and an acceptance that His timing, His path, and his wisdom are far superior to anything we could devise on our own. When we trust in God's plan, we are choosing to believe that he has a reason for everything, even when we don't see it. This is not always easy. It's human nature to want to understand, to question, and to resist things that don't align with our expectations. But when we trust, we release our need for answers and open ourselves up to God's peace and understanding. It is in those moments of surrender that we often experience the deepest levels of peace, because we recognize that we are not alone in this journey. God is with us, guiding us and holding us through every season of life, no matter how difficult or confusing. God's plan is not always immediate. There are seasons of waiting, of not knowing, of feeling as though we are in a holding pattern. But trust means having the confidence that even in those waiting periods, God is still working. Waiting doesn't mean inactivity on his part. It means preparation. It means he is shaping us for what's to come, even when we can't see the full picture. It's like a builder who takes time to carefully design and construct a building. God is laying the foundation for something greater in our lives, even if we can't yet see what that something is. When we place our trust in God's plan, we are also trusting in his ability to bring beauty from the brokenness, purpose from the pain, and growth from the struggles. There will be moments when we feel like everything is falling apart, but God specializes in restoring and redeeming what the world would consider lost. Trusting in him means believing that no matter how broken we feel, no matter how difficult the road may seem, God can take all of those pieces and create something magnificent in us and through us. God's plan isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. Trusting in his plan means embracing the process, knowing that every experience, every test, and every triumph is leading us closer to who we are meant to become. In moments of hardship, we are often tempted to look for an easy way out or to try to avoid the discomfort. But God's plan is about refining us, building character, and preparing us for the purpose he has uniquely designed for each of us. When we truly trust in God's plan, we begin to see that every step we take, even those that seem insignificant or difficult, is part of a larger design. Every relationship, every opportunity, every challenge is an element that contributes to the greater picture of our lives. The key is to trust him not only when things are going well, but especially when we don't understand why things are happening the way they are. It's in those moments of uncertainty that our trust in God is truly tested. But it's also in those moments that our faith grows stronger. Trusting in God's plan is not a one-time decision. It's an ongoing choice to align ourselves with his will, even when it doesn't make sense. It requires faith, patience, and a deep understanding that God is always working for our good. As we continue on this journey, we will face more tests, more waiting periods, and more moments of uncertainty. But through it all, we can find peace in knowing that God's plan is unfolding exactly as it should. He will never leave us nor forsake us, and his purpose for our lives will always prevail. Endurance through the trial is not about simply surviving or getting through the difficult moments. It's about developing a strength and resilience that allows you to emerge from the trial stronger than you were before. When we face hardship, we often want the pain and difficulty to end quickly, but it is through the endurance in the trial that we experience true transformation. Endurance is the ability to remain steady and faithful even when everything around us seems to be falling apart. It is not a passive waiting, but an active perseverance that requires determination, faith, and a deep belief that this season of difficulty is not permanent, and that there is purpose even in the struggle. Trials are not easy to endure, but they are necessary for growth. They stretch us beyond our current limits and force us to tap into strengths and resources we may not have realized we had. Endurance is a process that builds our spiritual muscles, much like physical training builds our body. The more we endure, the stronger we become. But it is important to understand that endurance is not about rushing through the trial or avoiding it. It's about facing it with courage and the assurance that we are not facing it alone. God doesn't promise that we won't go through difficult times, but He does promise that He will be with us through them. In the midst of hardship, when we feel like giving up, it is our trust in God that sustains us. Our endurance is not based on our own strength alone, but on God's strength working through us. When we rely on Him, we find the energy to keep moving forward, even when we don't feel like we can take another step. We are not meant to endure trials by our own power, but through His power within us. The key to endurance is patience, is knowing that even when things seem to be at their worst, they are also at their best in the hands of God. Patience is not about waiting in silence or doing nothing. It is an active waiting, continuing to trust, continuing to believe, continuing to do what is right, even when circumstances are not favorable. It is through patience that we begin to see God's hand working in ways that we may not have understood in the moment. There are moments during a trial when everything within us wants to quit. We question why we are going through this. We wonder if it will ever end. And we wonder if we are capable of enduring any longer. But in those moments, endurance requires us to make a choice. We must choose to keep moving forward, even when it feels impossible. Endurance is the choice to press on, even when the road is long and the weight is heavy. It is a mindset that says, I will not give up. I will keep moving, even if it is one step at a time. One of the most powerful aspects of endurance is the growth that happens within us as we face the trial. It is easy to look at trials as interruptions to our lives, but in reality, they are opportunities for growth. The trial is not just about the external circumstances, it is about what God is doing inside of us. As we endure, we are being shaped into the people God has called us to be. The perseverance we develop through hardship produces character. And that character gives us the stability and strength we need for the future. Endurance through the trial teaches us that we are not defined by our circumstances. We are defined by how we respond to them. While we cannot always control the trials that come our way, we can control how we choose to face them. Do we face them with bitterness, complaining, and resenting the process? Or do we face them with a heart of trust, knowing that this is part of God's plan for our lives? The way we respond to hardship directly impacts the transformation we experience in the process. Through endurance, we also learn to lean on others. Trials can feel isolating, but God places people in our lives to help us through them. It's in the hard times that we often discover the true value of community. People who come alongside us, encourage us, and remind us that we are not alone. Endurance is not about being strong in isolation. It's about leaning on others and allowing them to strengthen us when we feel weak. Sometimes the endurance we need comes through the encouragement, love, and prayers of those around us. In the end, the trial is not the final chapter of your story. It is a season, and seasons change. What feels like an unending struggle will eventually come to an end. But the endurance you develop in the trial will remain with you. It will equip you for the future, prepare you for the challenges ahead, and make you a testimony of God's faithfulness. You will emerge from the trial stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The endurance you develop in the face of adversity will be a testimony to the world of the power of God to sustain, strengthen, and transform. So when you find yourself in the midst of a trial, don't focus solely on the pain or the struggle. Instead, focus on the strength being developed in you. Choose to endure with faith, knowing that God is refining you and preparing you for what is to come. And remember, you do not endure alone. God is with you every step of the way, empowering you to keep going one day at a time. Character development is a continuous and transformative journey that shapes who we are on the inside, often through the experiences and challenges we face. It's the process by which we move from who we are today to who we are meant to be tomorrow. Character is the foundation of our actions, decisions, and reactions in the world. And it is built not in the easy moments, but in the difficult, testing times. It's the result of how we choose to respond to adversity, to success, to temptation, and to the everyday decisions we make. Every test, every trial, every setback that we face is an opportunity for character development. Life's challenges, though they often feel like burdens, are the tools that refine us, shaping our hearts, minds, and attitudes. It's in moments of discomfort that we learn resilience, patience, and perseverance. These moments teach us how to act with integrity when no one is watching, how to stand firm in our convictions even when it's difficult, and how to be humble in the face of success. It's easy to remain composed and kind when things are going well, but it is in the moments of hardship that our true character is revealed. How we respond to difficulty, disappointment, and failure directly impacts our growth and development as individuals. One of the most important aspects of character development is self-awareness. It's about recognizing our weaknesses, our flaws, and the areas in which we need to grow. Self-awareness is the first step in character transformation because it helps us to understand where we are and where we need to improve. When we take the time to reflect on our actions, attitudes, and reactions, we gain valuable insight into who we truly are. We realize the areas where we need to humble ourselves, where we need to be more patient, or where we need to develop more courage. Without this awareness, we are left to live life on autopilot, repeating the same patterns without ever truly growing. Another key component of character development is consistency. Character isn't built overnight. It is developed through consistent choices. Every choice we make, no matter how small, contributes to the person we are becoming. It's easy to think that the big decisions are the ones that define us, but in truth, it's the daily, seemingly insignificant actions that shape our character over time. The way we treat others, the way we show up to work, the way we manage our emotions in stressful situations, these small, consistent choices add up to form the core of who we are. True character is also built on a foundation of values. It's important to know what we stand for, what we believe in, and how we will respond to challenges based on those beliefs. Our values guide our decisions and actions, serving as a compass when we are faced with difficult choices. Without a clear sense of values, we can easily be swayed by the opinions of others or by the pressures of the world around us. But when our character is rooted in a strong foundation of values, we are able to navigate life's challenges with conviction and integrity. The values character development requires a commitment to personal growth. This means being willing to learn, to evolve, and to be shaped by experiences. It's easy to become complacent or stagnant, especially when life feels comfortable. But true character development requires a willingness to push beyond our comfort zones, to stretch ourselves, and to learn from both successes and failures. It's about constantly striving to be better, to be more loving, more patient, more humble, more disciplined. It's a continuous journey of refinement. A significant aspect of character development also involves how we handle relationships. Our interactions with others reveal a great deal about our character. How we treat those who are different from us, how we respond to those who hurt us, and how we show compassion to those in need are all reflections of our character. Building strong, healthy relationships requires humility, empathy, and the ability to forgive. It also requires the wisdom to know when to set boundaries and when to show grace. Our character is not only about how we see ourselves, but how we interact with and treat those around us. One of the most profound ways our character is developed is through adversity. Life's challenges, the moments when we feel most stretched and tested, are the moments that forge our character. It's through these trials that we are forced to confront our weaknesses, doubts, and fears. We are stretched to our limits, forced to find strength we never knew we had. It's through this refining fire that we become more resilient, more compassionate, and more understanding of others. Without these hardships, we wouldn't have the opportunity to develop the depth of character that comes from persevering through difficulty. Character development is also about responsibility. It's about taking ownership of our actions and decisions and understanding that we are accountable for how we show up in the world. Developing strong character means being willing to accept responsibility for both our successes and our failures. It means not shifting blame, not making excuses, and not trying to avoid consequences. When we take full responsibility for our actions, we not only develop our character, but we also gain the respect and trust of others. As we continue to grow and evolve, it's important to remember that character development is a lifelong process. There is no point where we can say, I've arrived, I've fully developed my character. It's a continuous journey that requires intentional effort, self-reflection, and a willingness to grow. Each day is an opportunity to make choices that strengthen our character, to learn from our mistakes, and to build upon the lessons of the past. As we develop our character, we become more aligned with our true purpose, and we are better equipped to handle the challenges and responsibilities that life will continue to bring. In the end, the strength of our character will not only determine the quality of our own lives, but will also impact those around us, leaving a lasting legacy for others to follow. The power of faith is not simply about believing in something. It's about trusting in what you cannot see, holding on to what is not yet materialized, and maintaining confidence in a higher purpose even when circumstances tell you otherwise. Faith is the ability to believe in the unseen, to step into the unknown, and to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. It is a force that transcends logic and human understanding, enabling us to endure hardships, conquer fears, and tap into a strength that is beyond our own. Faith is the foundation of hope. Without it, hope becomes weak and fleeting. When we have faith, we anchor our hope in something greater than ourselves, something eternal, unshakable, and trustworthy. Faith enables us to see beyond the present difficulties and challenges, to hold on to the belief that there is more for us than what we are currently experiencing. It gives us the courage to continue even when the road is hard, the weight is heavy, and the end seems far out of reach. In times of uncertainty, faith acts as a light in the darkness, guiding us when we have no clear direction. The power of faith lies in its ability to change not only our circumstances, but also our perspective. When we choose to believe, even in the face of doubt and fear, we shift our focus from the limitations of the physical world to the limitless possibilities of the spiritual realm. Faith reminds us that the external world does not define our destiny. What matters is not the things we can see with our eyes, but the conviction in our hearts that God is with us, guiding us, and working things out for our good. Faith is not a passive waiting for things to happen. It is an active belief that propels us into action. It calls us to take steps forward, even when we don't have all the answers. When we have faith, we move beyond the fear of failure, knowing that success is not about avoiding mistakes, but about trusting God's purpose and timing. Faith inspires us to take risks, to step into the unknown, and to trust that with each step, God is leading us toward his best plan for our lives. It gives us the boldness to go after things that seem impossible and to believe that with God, all things are possible. The power of faith is transformative. It changes us from the inside out, shaping our thoughts, attitudes, and actions. When we walk by faith, we are not ruled by fear or doubt. We are ruled by a sense of purpose and conviction. Faith empowers us to overcome obstacles that would otherwise seem insurmountable. It strengthens our resolve when we face challenges that seem too great to bear. What may have once seemed like a daunting task becomes an opportunity for growth, for learning, and for deeper trust in God's plan. Faith also has the power to heal. It may not always heal us physically in the way we expect, but it heals us spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. When we have faith, we learn to trust that God's healing is always working in our lives, even when it doesn't look like what we imagined. Faith opens the door for divine healing and restoration. It enables us to believe that even in the midst of pain, there is a purpose, and that purpose will ultimately lead to something greater. Faith brings peace in the storm, calm in the chaos, and comfort in the face of loss. Through faith, we learn to trust God, not just for the big moments, but in the everyday, ordinary circumstances of life. Faith is not reserved for the mountaintop experiences. It is just as powerful in the valley. It teaches us to trust God's provision in our daily lives, to believe that he is working even when we don't see immediate results. Faith calls us to be patient and to endure, knowing that God is always faithful and that his promises are true. It enables us to let go of our need for control and to surrender to his will, knowing that his plans are always better than our own. The power of faith is also seen in how it inspires others. When people see faith in action, it ignites something within them. It shows them that it is possible to trust in a higher power, to believe in something bigger than what they see, and to hold on to hope in the midst of life's storms. Faith becomes contagious. It spreads hope and courage to those who need it most. When we live out our faith, we demonstrate to others that it is not only possible to live a life of trust in God, but that it is the most powerful and fulfilling way to live. Faith allows us to access a divine strength that we could never generate on our own. It is not a strength that comes from willpower or human effort, but from trusting in God's power and grace. When we walk by faith, we tap into the endless resources of heaven. We are not limited by our own abilities, but empowered by His. This divine strength is what enables us to do things we never thought possible, to overcome obstacles that once seemed insurmountable, and to stand firm in the face of adversity. Faith opens the door for miracles. When we believe in the impossible, we invite God to move in ways that surpass human understanding. The Bible tells us that faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains. It is not the size of our faith that matters, but the object of our faith. When our faith is placed in the right source, the creator of the universe, there is no limit to what can be accomplished. Miracles happen not because of our strength or our understanding, but because of God's power and His willingness to work through those who trust in Him. The power of faith does not end with our own lives. It extends into every area of our existence, influencing the world around us. When we walk in faith, we begin to see God's hand at work in every aspect of our lives. Our relationships, our work, our health, our finances. Faith opens our eyes to see the blessings that are already around us and to trust that God is at work in ways we cannot always perceive. In every area of life, faith is the force that propels us forward, that gives us the strength to persevere, and that transforms our lives and the lives of those around us. It is a power that transcends circumstances, that conquers fear, and that enables us to live a life of purpose, peace, and victory. The power of faith is not a fleeting or temporary force. It is eternal, unshakable, and life-changing. With faith, we can face anything, overcome anything, and accomplish anything that God has called us to do. Faith is the key to unlocking the fullness of God's potential in our lives. Victory beyond the test is the culmination of everything we endure, a reward that far exceeds the challenges faced. It is the realization that the trials we encounter are not meant to defeat us, but to refine us, to shape us into stronger, wiser, and more capable individuals. The victory is not always in the way we initially expect, nor does it always look like what we think it should. But true victory lies in the transformation that takes place within us as we move through the test with faith, perseverance, and trust in God's plan. When we face a test, it can often feel like the world is closing in on us, like the weight of the challenge is too much to bear. We may question our strength, our ability to keep going, or whether the test will ever end. But victory beyond the test is found in the choice to keep going, to press forward even when everything seems uncertain. It is through that decision to continue moving forward, step by step, that we are gradually shaped into the person we need to become. Victory is not defined by the absence of difficulty, but by the presence of faith during the struggle. It is a victory of the heart and mind, a triumph over fear, doubt, and discouragement. It is the victory that comes when we choose to trust God's purpose for us, even when we do not understand it. The test is often a refining fire that burns away what is not needed leaving only what is pure, strong, and capable of standing firm. Without the test, we would never experience the depth of transformation that brings us closer to our purpose. When we pass through the fire of trials, we gain new insight into ourselves. We discover strengths we didn't know we had, and we uncover weaknesses that need to be addressed. Victory beyond the test means that we have gained a deep understanding of who we are and what we are capable of. It's a victory that helps us grow into the people God intended us to be, equipped with the experience, wisdom, and resilience to face whatever lies ahead. Victory beyond the test also means that we come out on the other side with a deeper sense of gratitude and humility. After enduring hardship, we learn to appreciate the things that once seemed insignificant and to value the people and blessings in our lives. We understand that victory is not about achieving success on our own terms, but about recognizing the grace and faithfulness of God that has carried us through the journey. It's a victory that humbles us, reminding us that we are not self-sufficient, but dependent on a higher power to guide us through the challenges we face. There is also a sense of freedom that comes with victory beyond the tests. When we face a challenge and come out victorious, we are no longer bound by fear or uncertainty. The test that once held us captive becomes the very thing that propels us into greater freedom. We no longer shrink back from challenges, but we face them with confidence, knowing that we have already overcome in the past and can do so again. This victory shifts our mindset from one of survival to one of thriving, as we begin to see each new challenge as an opportunity to grow rather than an obstacle to avoid. Victory beyond the test is also about perspective. It's about seeing the bigger picture and understanding that the test we are facing is just a small part of our greater story. The trials we face today are building blocks for the life we are meant to live. And every challenge is a step forward in the process of becoming who we are meant to be. When we have this perspective, we can face any test with a sense of purpose, knowing that there is always something greater on the other side. Victory beyond the test often comes with a sense of fulfillment and accomplishment. After enduring hardship, we gain a deep sense of satisfaction in knowing that we have made it through. It is the knowledge that we didn't give up, we didn't quit, and we didn't let the test define us. Instead, we allowed it to refine us and to push us towards something greater. This sense of fulfillment fills us with confidence for the future, knowing that no matter what lies ahead, we are equipped to handle it with grace and strength. Victory beyond the test also carries with it the responsibility to share our experience and knowledge with others. Those who have been through the fire are often called to help others who are going through similar struggles. Our victories become testimonies that inspire others to keep going, to trust in God, and to believe that they too can overcome their trials. There is power in sharing our story, not just to uplift others, but to remind ourselves of how far we've come and how faithful God has been throughout the journey. When we share our victory, we become a source of hope for those still in the midst of their own tests. In the end, the true victory beyond the test is not just about the results or the rewards, but about the person we become in the process. It is the inner transformation that equips us to live a life of purpose, strength, and faith. Victory is not the end of the story, but the beginning of a new chapter, one where we are more prepared, more resilient, and more capable of facing whatever challenges life may bring. The victory beyond the test is not just a momentary achievement, It is the ongoing journey of becoming the person we were always meant to be, living with greater confidence, faith, and purpose. As we reflect on the journey through tests and the victory that lies beyond them, we must remember that the true power of victory isn't found in the absence of hardship, but in the strength we gain through enduring it. Each test, each trial, each challenge is a stepping stone toward the person we are destined to become. These tests refine us, shape us, and prepare us for the future that awaits. So, do not be discouraged by the difficulties you face. Understand that you are not alone in your struggles, and that every test is an opportunity for growth, for transformation, and for the manifestation of your God-given potential. The victory beyond the test is not just about achieving success. It is about becoming resilient, faithful, and grounded in the knowledge that you can overcome anything with determination and trust in God's plan. Your greatest triumph lies not in the end result, but in the journey itself, the perseverance, the faith, and the strength you gain along the way. The tests of life are not meant to break you, they are meant to build you. And as you emerge from each test, you will rise stronger, wiser, and more equipped for the future. Keep pushing forward. Stay faithful and trust that the victory beyond the test is yours for the taking. You are destined for greatness, and no trial can steal the promise of the victory that lies ahead.